Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wonder Women. This podcast is about women that are trying to make a difference in their community by opening a foundation or joining a cause. Today, I have a good friend of mine, Brenda.
Hi,
Hi,
thank
how are
you.
you?
Fine, thank you.
She is from Leading Ladies, correct?
Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And we're going to share what she does in this foundation. And she's done wonderful things. I've gone to a few events, and I have truly enjoyed each and every one
Thank
of
you for
them.
going.
We know Nicole, our friend
Yes,
Nicole
Nicole.
from Bar Harbor. Yes.
Yes.
And I went to that wonderful event at Bar Harbor.
Yes.
I met wonderful women from your foundation that were participating for the big event. Was it a month ago already?
It was March 5th, I believe, at Broward Memorial Hospital.
Yes. Which I learned so much in that event. What you women are doing. So please share with me what Leading Ladies Foundation does for pediatrics, correct?
It's not just pediatric, it's adults also.
That's right.
It's an organization that's been around since 1995, started by an actual group of performers, musicians, and they found that one of their attendees had a kidney issue, so they wanted to bring awareness to that and bring up the idea of transplant possibilities. So for 30 years, it's been around and donated around $2 million.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. And the money that we do raise, we give out grants, which we did at the March 5th event. We gave $15,000 to Broward Memorial.
Is it any hospital?
We work right now mainly with Memorial.
Okay.
We have worked with University of Miami, and we have worked with Jackson Memorial also. There's other organizations that help support. There's with FODA, which is the Florida Organization Transplant Association, and Life Alliance, which we also work with them. And this last event, we gave out 15,000. We had 2 living donors at this event, a pediatric patient and an adult patient.
That beautiful little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so rewarding to hear her story and how everything started and the happy ending that they had, that family.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to talk a little bit about them because I think that story was very incredible because it's one of the first, if I understand correctly, that the donor was her sister and they were 100% match.
Correct.
Can you elaborate a little bit how sometimes it's not always 100% match? It was a blessing.
Yeah, and that was not even a twin.
Yes, that's right.
She was not her twin.
Right.
She was an
her
older sister
Yeah.
who actually is now in medical school.
Wow.
And
she's going to pay it forward.
She was very surprised, and the patient was a very upbeat patient also. In the slide presentation that we saw, she seemed to be very well adjusted to being a patient. She is now homeschooled, and she will start back into regular school the next coming fall. The pediatric nephrologist that spoke gave us a lot of data on transplant patients.
Great speaker.
And
I learned a lot.
We heard that the youngest that they've had was a 12-hour baby that has transferred over from, I think she said, Fort Myers.
That's right. Fort Myers, yes.
And I think she's 5 and still waiting for a transplant. And our monies help those patients that have to they have to transport back and forth and get rides. And so that some of this money that we give is for that purpose. It's not to pay for a transplant. Right. It's for ancillary expenses that the patients have.
You mentioned to me that during this process, there's a lot of parts to it. And the transportation becomes very costly for the families.
Yes.
So you helped with this case regarding her transportation back and forth from the hospital and the family as well, her mom too. Right. Because I believe her mom was with her.
Her mom and dad
the whole process.
Yes, they were.
Which were
And then there's a service that they have with Broward, and they go, as far as I know, up to Stewart, Jupiter area. And there are patients that have to be ready by, say, 3:30 in the morning to get the transportation to the hospital to come and have 4 hours of dialysis and then get on that transportation back. So this money helps for the transportation, or for a parent or a caregiver to stay over at a hotel.
Wow.
That may need to stay overnight, which the hospital keeps for a fund to use for that type of services that may be needed.
Wow. And there was another lady that
Yes.
also had a transplant.
Mhm.
That's a very interesting story as well.
Mhm.
How that was a full circle
Yes, it was.
of husband and wife.
Mhm.
And would you like to share that one?
Yes, there was an adult recipient that
Mhm.
spoke, and she was only 4 months post-op. She needed a kidney. Her husband was gonna donate, and he was a match. But they got closer to the time, and they felt maybe not as matched as they would like, but he said, "I'm still going to be a donor." So he went into this, site that you can sign up as a private citizen to be a donor because you've got 2 good kidneys, and I want to donate to someone. So he donated, and it went to a donor, a recipient. Soon after he donated his kidney, she got a call that another kidney had come available for her that was a match. So within about a 4-month period, he donated voluntarily. She received a kidney from Utah, and they celebrated their birthday, anniversary, and recuperation from kidney transplant all together at one time. Mhm.
The doctor also mentioned that donating a kidney is pretty easy. It's not that as complicated as people think it is.
It's not, they actually can do, they can remove a kidney laparoscopically.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can remove a kidney laparoscopically. So instead of a big incision, it can be removed laparoscopically. Now, for a transplant, I'm not going to say that
That
that's
one's a
the
little
way,
bit more
but
complicated, of course.
to take out, say, a cancerous kidney,
Mhm.
it can be done laparoscopically.
Oh.
Uh,
I know your background is in nursing, and I know
yes.
you mentioned to me that one of the reasons why you do this is because that part of you is still very alive in you, helping other people, and that's why you were part of the Leading Ladies. Tell me, how do you feel about you know all these new I want to say all the new innovative things that are coming in the medicine field right now, like the transplant, working with them. I bet you've been in this field for a long time. Has advanced so much.
Oh, yes, very much so. The education
That's
is probably the biggest thing because um, the whole body is an organ transplant piece.
right.
I mean, you can use your skin. The skin can go from a little inch to cover, say, I'm not going to say exactly, but an inch can go maybe to 4 inches to do a graft.
Right. Right.
Your cartilage in your ears, your nose, eyes. Of course, you have 2 kidneys, you have 2 lungs, so the whole body. And so I think more education now has brought that to light,
Mhm.
and making it aware on your driver's license,
Mhm.
your family. That is very important. And there's a national donor registry that you can sign up for so that you're in that, so that when something comes available, it's there to be seen that someone is in an area that wants to be a volunteer
Got
to
it.
donate, which years ago, and religion has played a part in it also.
I
And some
understand that.
have lifted some of those restrictions that will allow
Transplant.
transplants now. Mhm.
So, Leading Ladies, how does how do you pick the person that you're going to donate money to for the transportation? How does
We
that process go?
we don't really pick that person. Say, now that we're with Broward Memorial Transplant Team, their organization and their coordinators are the ones that pretty much decide how to use. So we give the money to them with the hopes that they're using it for that purpose, because we can't use it for a transplant because
Right.
that's not going to do
That's a
anything.
lot of money.
transportation, medication. A patient that's on a transplant patient is going to be on medication most of their life.
Right.
So that can help. Groceries. The biggest thing probably is the transportation and hotel accommodations, which
I think nutrition plays a big role too nowadays.
food, yes, because depending on your transplant,
Yep. And the
depends on your
medications you're
diet.
taking,
Mm-hmm.
the diet is very,
Diet,
very
yeah.
important.
Mm-hmm. High in protein or low in sodium, because of certain organs rely on certain,
No, it's
potassium and sodium is important for certain organs.
so when my husband's dad, my father-in-law,
Mm-hmm.
he got diagnosed with liver cancer. One of the they wanted to send him through the transplant unit at Sylvester Cancer Center,
Mm-hmm.
but he wasn't a candidate for a liver transplant, and because of his diagnosis, his type of cancer. And one of the things we've learned with our experience with him is nutrition, how important nutrition is during you know, the time the patient is going through treatment, medications. There are a lot of medications that don't go with what you're eating.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I imagine with transplants, it's even more specific what they need to be
Right.
eating.
I mean, simple is not simple, but blood pressure medication. There's some blood pressure medications that they say you're not supposed to have grapefruit.
Right. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so like kidney could be
Salty food.
salty foods. Liver could be fats.
Yes.
So
Correct.
and it is a thing that you have to learn that the dietary needs of how those organs break down those certain foods, and or it could be just the opposite, that you may need more protein because you're losing stuff in other ways.
Something in that when I went to the event, how all of you were so in tune and knew so much about the patient. You guys were very involved. You educated yourself very, very much so, which I was very impressed by that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just not donating money, it's also learning the process. And I learned so much that day.
Good.
I also learned that you, a very tight group of women, and are very passionate about this cause. So, how do you guys raise money throughout the year for your recipient? How do you guys do that?
Well, we have about 300 members.
Wow, that's a lot.
Those are not actively doing something per se, but they are members. So we get dues from those. So that helps. When we do have an event, we may charge $50 for a ticket, and the venue that we're at underwrites all the expenses for the food and the decoration. So we would get all of the money from the ticket sales.
Wow.
So that's actually how this worked for Memorial. We received all of the ticket sales from that, and then silent auctions or raffles. So that event brought in almost $12,000.
Wow.
So, and we gave out a $15,000 grant. So it was somewhat of a wash, but it still brings in the money. In the summer, we're going to probably have a live donor event at Memorial, which they will underwrite for us also, to bring in the donors and acknowledge them as appreciation for being a donor to a patient that needed an organ. It could be a pediatric, adult, a kidney, a heart, liver.
So you guys, it doesn't only have to be kidney.
It does not have to be. It can be. One of our members is very active in this organization because her husband was a heart transplant.
Oh, wow.
And I have an interest in it because my cousin's son had a double lung transplant because of cystic fibrosis.
Wow.
So it's a transplant of
So
whatever.
Important. So important. Yes. And they also talked about being a donor. They talked about how to be proactive and be part of a donate, like on your license.
Right.
They talked about that as well, how important that was.
Yeah.
So how many events do you have a year approximately?
This year, so far, we've had 3.
Yeah, I know
We've
you're
had
busy.
2 at Bell Harbor, and we had the one at Memorial, and, one was for an award, which you were also a
Yes,
recipient,
yes, yes.
which is how we became acquainted
What a small world, right?
in our second life. We had been acquainted before. We
Yes.
didn't know that until later. And then we had an event later at Bell Harbor, which was successful. We were able to raise money from ticket sales for that. And then the big luncheon, which was at Memorial. And that's our 3 events so far.
So
And then
far.
we have one in maybe summer will give us 4 for the year, which is quite a bit. Usually it's about 2, so we're ahead of schedule.
Wow. So do you usually have one do you concentrate on one person like this is with the little girl? Can you have more than
The transplant team at
that you can help with the
Memorial,
transportation?
they are the ones that pick a donor.
Because you're having more events, maybe there'll
Yeah,
be more
they will be the ones to
that determine.
contact the donor or the recipient. Yeah, and we were lucky this time that we had a live recipient as a pediatric patient and as an adult.
She was so beautiful.
Hmm.
And it was so inspiring to hear her story. And she talked about how difficult it was, her, how difficult it is for these kids to be on dialysis for such a long time.
Hmm.
Um, and now she has a normal life. She goes to school
Hmm.
and
Yes.
she could go to the park, and nobody realized the simplicity of just going to, when you're a kid, going to a park and being with your friends. And
Yeah, and the idea that she has the energy now
yes,
compared to
that was exact the
Dallas
word,
is
energy that
uh,
she has now.
Dallas is 3 times a week. It just washes you out,
It does.
and this gives her a new life, to enjoy teenage years coming up, and, she may even go into medicine also, just like
You're like our
her sister.
sister.
Yeah,
Yes,
mhm,
yes.
yeah, so
So I know you are also part of I'm part of the Coral Gables Women's Club,
yes, you are.
and you're part of one as well,
Yes, Miami Women's Club.
Miami Women's Club.
Mhm.
And can you share a little bit about Miami's Women's Club with me?
Well, Miami Women's Club is 125 years old this year.
Wow.
Um, it is a historic building in downtown Miami, which the Miami Women's Club owned the building, and there are 2 very famous restaurants that are using parts of it, Casa Donna and Claw. So that helps bring awareness sort of the women's club being there. And there will be a big event this coming fall to celebrate the anniversary for the Miami Women's Club, which quite a few founding females of Miami were part of the Miami Women's Club back in the day.
Wow.
Hmm. And so it's exciting. It's been totally refurbished.
Mhm.
Um, and it's worth coming to see.
Yeah.
It's open to private venues to
How long
rent.
have you been a member?
I've been a member of Miami Women's Club for only about a year and a half because my club that I was with for 25 years disbanded, which was the Northeast Miami Women's Club. And like a lot of things,
Yeah.
age makes a difference, and
Right.
our attendance dropped and the demographics changed. So I just moved to Miami Women's Club,
Oh.
and we have events together
Yes.
with
Yeah.
Coral Gables.
Yeah.
So I'm going to an event tonight that's going to be sponsored by Coral Gables also.
Yes. There's a lot of events,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a beautiful cause there as well, which is the dental office for
Yes,
pediatrics.
it is.
And does the Miami one have a specific cause or?
Not like the dental clinic. The
Okay.
dental clinic's been there, since 1930 something
Yes.
at Coral
Mm-hmm.
Gables. Miami Women's Club have different community service projects that they work throughout the whole year. And domestic violence is one of the big ones that
Wow.
they do. And foods insecurity. So we
Okay.
do a lot with food banks and domestic violence.
Wow.
And we pick a project. The state president picks a project every year from the GFWC Florida project, and her project this year is Honor Flight for Female Women Military.
Mm.
So we are
Oh,
having a
that's a beautiful
fundraiser
cause.
tonight
Yes.
at the American Legion, and the money will raise to go towards $160,000 need to be raised to fly 75 veteran females to Washington to the
Wow.
memorials, and then a companion to go with them.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, that's wonderful because
Mhm.
we always have to be grateful to our military because they protect us and they're there for us, and especially the women.
I know the
We gotta
women.
we gotta
Yeah.
back them up.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
hard work what
Yeah.
they're doing every day,
Mhm.
protecting our country, and I really admire you guys to recognize them.
Mhm.
I don't think we recognize our military as much as we should, and I think we should recognize them even more and support them even more every day.
So tonight
Uh,
will be an event at the Legion Park. Legion, American Legion in Coral Gables. Yes.
so you're busy,
Yes.
busy,
Today's a
busy,
busy
busy,
day. Yes.
busy, busy. um, you're a nurse. You've always supported causes. President of your church.
No longer, but
Was
okay.
president of your
Mhm.
church, and you just before we started, you said you're just making your wings grow, and I really appreciate sharing your stories with
Thank you.
us and these causes. Um, it takes a warm-hearted person to do what you're doing, helping other people, bringing awareness to their community, acknowledging other women, which you
Yes,
do,
that
because
is
every time
true.
we talk, you tell me about all of them. And your wonderful support system. And I know you're a wonderful mother because how we met many years ago. I don't know how old your son is right now, but
26.
my husband trained him while he was in high school baseball and travel ball.
Yes.
And then when we were at that event, and I saw him, my husband saw him there. I go, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. My son looked at him also and said, I know him. I know him. And then you guys got together. And what did you have on your phone?
His picture while he was training. My husband was training him. I go, "Look, I have you here." He goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe it."
Yeah.
And he's doing wonderful
Yeah.
things.
He's doing good. Thank you.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yes.
And I feel like God always puts people along your way, and I think we were meant to meet again.
That's been great.
And it's been wonderful. And I've learned so much from you. And I hope we keep growing together and learning more and helping these causes.
Yes.
Like the Women's Club in Miami, the Coral Gables Women Club, the Leading Ladies, and with our good friend Nicole that always supports us.
I know. Yes.
Without her, I don't know.
Yes.
She's always backing us up. And I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And her husband is in the corner taking video. Thank you, Tom, for bringing her.
And good luck with your organization
Thank
also.
You. Thank you. So. We're going to have I finally have our date. It's October 2nd. So put it on your calendar.
Okay.
At the Biltmore. And,
nice.
It's going to be a gala this time.
Great.
So a lot of work.
So it does take some work.
Takes a lot of work.
Yes.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. And good luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you. But thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for being with me today again at Wonder Women. I want to thank the community newspaper, the Miller family, my friend Carlos, who is the producer. And I love doing this every day. I would love bringing awareness to our community about wonderful women that are changing their community and making a difference. So join me next time, next Thursday. And always remember to never give up on hope and always, always, always believe